Hello to all, and thank you for this opportunity to present myself. And today, I'm presenting myself under the aegis of Directorate of Higher Education, Haryana. And our topic is chemistry in everyday life. And this is a value-added certificate course organized by Department of Chemistry and by Pandit Nikiram College, Rohtak. So my first slide and my topic today is narcotic drugs and psychotropic substances. My name is Ravi Kumar. I was a forensic scientist. I've done MSc Forensic Science in NTU University. Right now, I'm pursuing MSc Pharmaceutical Analysis from Kingston University, London, UK. And here is my LinkedIn ID. If you want to connect to me. If you have questions, and I think yeah, in the field of forensic science or in the field of science, you have to be linked with LinkedIn because it's a more official or uh, professional application to use and to present yourself. So here we go. So after in 25 minutes, you will be learning about all kind of narcotic drugs, drugs of abuse, types of drug, cannabis, opium, heroin, cocaine, synthetic drugs, legal production of drugs in India, and DPS Act. And also, it's very necessary to learn about these drugs because if we want to avoid these drugs and if we want to regulate or just check the use of drugs in India, and which is a very big problem right now. So we have to learn about these things. And to speak myself, I'm just a student in this discipline. I don't claim to be an expert because there is always more to learn, and which is not possible in a single lifetime. Okay, I'm a bit under the weather, so sorry for that. So, my first slide is high use of illicit drugs in India. So right now, India is also using high amount of drugs. Mostly we are using cannabis. So this slide gives you overview about that rest of the world and Asia and particularly in India. So India is using the whole Asia is using 1.90% of cannabis, but India is using 1.20, so which is very high. And Indian youth and Indian students are at risk. So we have to, and this is bona fide result of India Today group. So I'm presenting myself. So drug abuse in India. So there is some parts which are like using high uses of cannabis, opioids, and sedatives. So cannabis mostly is in Sikkim, Mizoram, and these parts of India, and also for opioids. But because we are presenting slides for Haryana, so Haryana is also using I know he's using public is using very much of cannabis and opioids because I have research 6 years on that. And the next slide is total cases related to drugs. This is these type of drugs related, and this is over all criminal cases in 2022. And don't forget, it's COVID period, so everyone is stays in is in home, and even though it's like there is transport and also uh, like uh, people are using drugs over the time because of the depressions and all student those people who are like finding jobs didn't able to find, so that's why they are using, and also groups which like influence them to use drugs. So even though the cases are high, okay, so that's bear in mind. So right now we are talking about drugs. So what are drugs? So the first drug, the first drug is extracted by main active chemical from opium uh, by Friedrich Stirner in 1804, and he named it morphine because after the Greek god of sleep. Okay, and it is the first modern pharmaceutical medicine. Okay, so drugs are two types, natural and synthetic. So most of the cases in Sonaria while working in Rohtak Forensic Lab, so I faced mostly natural drug cases, but there are synthetic drugs cases also, but more you can face in this region of Rohtak district, the natural drugs, okay? And natural drugs, you can see here is a plant of opium, cocaine, ephedra. Okay. So natural drugs. So natural drugs are organic drugs, are extracted from natural substances, from plants and animals. Okay. And here are the types of cannabis, opium, cocaine, hallucinogenic mushrooms. Uh, so first talk about cannabis. So here is a you can see a plant. This plant is called as cannabis, and it's very much you can find easily in Rohtak region or in India or in Haryana because of our agricultural land. Okay, and so cannabis divided in three parts. First is shiras, which is the resin part. Then ganja, which is flower and seeds, and there is bhang and leaves. So first let's talk about bhang because everybody know that bhang comes in drugs, but why it's not restricted to use? And if bhang is comes in drugs, so why not government is punishing those ones who sells bhang? So let's find out about this one. So bhang does not fall within the definition of cannabis because of under Section 2, 1985 NDPS Act, because it says that any mixture or with or without any natural material of any of the above forms of cannabis or any drink prepared therefrom is don't fall in this category. So bhang is generally believed to be relatively and it's less harmful form of cannabis because it contains low THC. It's kind of because cannabis made up of three typical drugs, THC, CBD, and CBN. So it states that it has low THC, which makes you sleepy, drowsiness, and call. Okay, so and also there is like our social cultural and also religious backgrounds which relates to uh, bhang, like everybody is using bhola bhang and all. Okay, so there are also few government authorized bhang shops you can find easily in India, entire India, almost entire India. Okay, but particularly bhang shops you can find in Noida, UP, Haryana, and these are government authorized shops. Okay, and these are sell in the name of Munakka. Okay. So let's talk about charas. So you can see these slabs. So these slabs are charas, okay? And mostly those criminals are like using them for selling by like making them around walls. You can see behind the picture. Okay, and charas is the resin part, and also crude or maybe purified form obtained from cannabis plant includes concentrated preparation resin known as hashish, and also there are like if we prepared it more, so we can make it hashish oil or liquid hashish from it. Okay, and this is charas identification. If you want to identify charas physically, so you can see easily that it's a dark green or brown and having a strong odor. Okay, and you, I think mostly young age students, or maybe uh, people who are like fascinated about this plant. They see almost like people are scrubbing their hands on this plant and just extracted churros from it, and they just use their hands by putting an oil layer on it. Then they scrub their hand on leaf part, and you can see that this is they are extracting churros from the plant directly. Okay, so from there, they easily extracted this layer from the plant, and then they make these round balls. And because criminals need to transport it, so they hide their chara smell with covering it with polythene. This kind of thing. Okay, so you can easily say that they strongly make these long uh, cylindrical shape chairs, and also cover it with polythene to cover its smell. Okay, and this is hashish oil, which is made up of from cherras. So cherras can be divided in two parts. So one is cherras, the pure one, and one second one is prepared cherras, so which comes in hashish oil from because people make oil from this cherras. Okay, so this is hashish oil, and this is also hashish in its more prepared form. Okay, so let's talk about second cannabis, ganja. So ganja is also comes from the same cannabis plant. Okay, it's a green brown vegetative substance having flowering fruiting tops and seeds. So this is the definition of ganja, and it's valid definition because ganja always contains flowering fruiting tops and seeds. Okay, and this is ganja's physical identification. If you see seeds and also the plant part, so you can easily check the difference between okay, ganja and charas, because charas is more crude form and ganja is more leaf like organic plant form. Okay, and this is fruiting tops and also seeds contains. Okay, so this is also ganja uh, physical identification. So people are using smoking techniques to inhale charas, ganja. Okay, and this is state-wise prevalence of current use of charas and ganja. So you can see prevalence rate. So prevalence rate in Haryana and also the region of Himachal Pradesh, Haryana, and Uttar Pradesh. So it is prevalence rate is high. So people are using more charas and ganja in these areas. Okay, and there are few this is point where like for those ones who want to do forensic science in their life, uh, and also for this is for forensic students who are going to become forensic experts. So we do a preliminary cannabis testing, and these three tests we do, one is fast cornet V, fast blue B, rapid nucleus test. Okay, and now talk about opium. So you can easily see this plant. This is opium poppy plant. Okay, so opium is highly addictive narcotic drugs acquired in dried latex from opium poppy plant or seed ball, and mostly the cultivation begins in September and April. Okay, so next one maybe, yeah. Opium identification. So we've this is opium identification. You can see the capsule of opium plant here, and also the seeds, which is like used by like you can easily find these seeds in any what we call them. Uh, shops, our general stores. Okay, these are khaskhas. Okay, khaskhas seeds. So you can easily find uh, in India or in Haryana in any general store. So if you want seeds, so here we are. Okay, so see that much of uh, opium is prevalent in India. Okay, these are khaskhas seeds, and this is capsule of opium, and this is also a dried form, and you can see these seeds. Okay, this is opium capsule. So you can also see that this is flower of opium plant. So there are two types of opium plants. So types means there are types of used by criminals or by like in I think victims is the right way to describe them. Okay, so one is raw form, which is called as poppy straw. Okay, and also chura post. Okay, sorry, dora post. Yeah, and this is where like mostly people are using a particular capsule. Okay, just directly the capsule. And the second one is poppy husk, which is powder called as chura post. Okay, so in this way they are using directly powder, or also called as bukki, if you particular thing. So poppies and medicine. Australia, Turkey, and India also use it for medicinal purposes, such as morphine and codeine, because they are strong pain relievers. So India is using these ones. Okay, and this is opium spot test, and in this test we are using Marcus reagent, and if you see this coffee color while doing this test, so it means it contains opium. Mostly our crime scene team, crime forensic science team, especially in Rohtak, if I have to talk about. So they are using these kinds of tests to identify that this particular substance is opium or not. Okay, and this is also opium spot test in which we are using MEC reagent. And by using these chemicals, you can easily identify that opium gives olive black color. Okay, and that's the question. That's the main question of everyone. Like, what is heroin and what is smack? So, smack and heroin are the same because it doesn't matter because they are same. Okay, so there's no difference between smack and heroin. And the famous quote is like, "Shaktiman bhi Gangadhar hai, Gangadhar tha." Okay, so they are same. So, smack and heroin are same. Okay. And you can easily see this is crude, left one is more crude form of heroin, and the right one is more refined form of heroin. Okay, so uh, more whiter it goes, so more pure it will become. Okay, and this is I have clicked that picture, okay, while like doing an experiment in forensic science laboratory. So this is we got from criminals, okay, and heroin. So, an illegal narcotic used recreationally to achieve effects like caused by prescription opioids. So, it's heroin also comes from opium poppy plants. So there are two types of natural plants which gives us all the natural drugs. So one is cannabis plant, and the second one is opium poppy plant. Okay, so heroin can be found in red in color because people are not giving you pure heroin. If you like to know, it's like mostly drug cartels use alprazolam to increase its weight and also enhance its taste. Okay, And this is Max spot test. So we are using Marcus reagent. And if you see this pinkish, more reddish color, more violet color, so it means it contains smack. Okay. So the next slide is about illegal production. So most of the illegal production of opium is in Afghanistan, Burma, and India also because of Punjab factor, because of the border. Okay. And this is cocaine. So everybody is fascinated about what is cocaine and cocaine, how it's look, and people why people are using it. So this is cocaine in powder form. Okay. So it's an alkaloid obtained from coca tree. So there is third. Now we are talking about third plant. So and it also a powerful addictive central nervous system stimulant. So yeah, cocaine is highly addictive, so that's why people are using it. Okay. And this is plant of coca. Okay, coca tree. So you can easily see these beans are just hanging around a tree. So these ones are coca fruit. Okay. So people are just extracted from its leaf, and these cocas are just dried after using it, and you can see easily these this is physical identification of coca tree. Okay. So cocaine, also known as coke, snow, Cadillac, white lady. And see, there are these leaves, and also those fruits are just dried on these carpets in India before like using it. So yeah, cocaine in India, like any other country, most cocaine comes from South America, and especially from Colombian drug cartels. I think everyone have watched those Netflix series, which contains stories about how cocaine is like uh, sold out in different countries and all. Okay. So cocaine spot test, this is Scott reagent test. So these kit is very useful while identifying cocaine on the spot. So that's why they called as spot test. And if you found blue color, so you can easily say that this contains cocaine. So these tests are mostly done on Indian airports, and India is very, I think, strict about drugs uses, and like yeah, they're very strict about drug uses and drug transport. Okay. And now let's about synthetic drugs. Okay. So synthetic drugs is a drug with properties and effects like which cause hallucinogen or narcotic, but having a slightly altered chemical structure. Okay. So drug created in order to evade restrictions against illegal substances. Okay. So synthetic drug aim to mimic the effect of illicit drugs such as cannabis, cocaine, or ecstasy. Synthetic drugs are also known as psychoactive substance. So my topic was narcotic drugs and psychotropic substances. So these comes in these ones. Okay. First, let's talk about benzodiazepines. So what are benzodiazepines? So benzodiazepines are mostly depressants. So depressants means those drugs which makes you depressed or makes you sleepy. Okay. So there are four types of main are four types: alprazolam, clonazepam, diazepam, lorazepam. Okay. So uh, alprazolam. So it's just a normal general tablet for anxiety, but because of its side effect, sleepiness, depression, headache, feeling tired, dry mouth, and memory problems, people are using it. And alprazolam you can easily found in India on medical stores of around 0.25 mg and 5 mg. Okay. So this is alprazolam. This is a pack of alprazolam tablets. I think it contains 15 tablets right now. Okay. And this is clonazepam. It also comes in 0.5 mg form, and people are using it as an anxiety, but drug addict using it as a drug. Okay, so this comes as diazepam injection, and also comes diazepam comes in tablet. So if it comes in injection form, it comes in 2 ml ampule, and if it's come in tablet form, it comes in 5 mg tablets. So people are using it. Okay. So let's talk about lorazepam. So lorazepam is also a depressant tablet. It comes in 2 mg, 5 mg, and 10 mg. People are using it as an anxiety, but same. All medicines are drugs, but not all drugs are medicines. So that's we learn from our science. Okay. This is phenobarbital, people using it for seizures. So also drug addict using it as a drug. Okay. So these are few general synthetic drugs. Next one is ketamine. So ketamine is intramuscular or steroid use. This is a liquid form. It contains 500 mg under 10 ml. So you can easily see that every ml contains 50 mg. Okay. So the next one is tramadol. This is highly painkiller right now using in India. So if you have noticed that the blue color capsule, okay, which is right now, I think Spasmo Proximon Plus, okay, so it contains tramadol 100 mg. Okay, so people are using it as a painkiller, but it's a drug. It's a drug. It will definitely uh, harm your liver, your internal organs if you use it for longer period of time. Okay, so the next one is buprenorphine. Again, this is synthetic drug types. People are using it. Pentazocine lactate, and this is also drug. Okay, and these I'm just showing the picture of every synthetic drugs I noticed while working in forensic lab. So this is nitrazepam. So nitrazepam is also using as anxiety, but it's also as a drug. So legal opium production in India. So right now, India is the largest manufacturer of legal opium. Okay, so if anybody thinks like India is not producing any drugs, so yeah, India is producing, but not for selling, it's for medication. Okay, so in MP, it's Mandasu, Nimaj, Ratlam, Ujjain, Sajapur, Rajghat, Rajasthan in कोटा, बरन, जालोर, चित्तौड़गढ़, उदयपुर, भीलवाड़ा, in Uttar Pradesh, Barabanki, Faizabad, Mau, Lucknow, Raebareli, Bareilly, and Budwan. Okay, so my last slide is about drug policy of India. So in India, it's like under the Act of 1985, which comes in 14 November, which makes every drug is illegal to produce, manufacture, cultivate, possess, sale, purchase, transport, store, or consume any narcotic drug or psychotropic substances. Under this act, India just set up Narcotics Control Bureau in March 1986. Okay, and there are three amendments which is happened in this drug is 1998, 2001, and 2014, which is recently because it creates class of medicine called as essential narcotic drugs. It's for need for pain relief because people need pain relief, and because of the previous act, people are not getting these pain relief. Okay, so thank you for listening me, and thank you for this opportunity. Thank you, Nikiram. And this is my LinkedIn ID and this is my Instagram ID. So if you want me to follow, to connect, or just ask few questions, you can easily, because I'm very active on LinkedIn. Okay. And uh, I think that's all. Thank you.